Go ahead.
All right, so this wall was a disaster of a wall. There's so much rot, and I hope that I took a good picture of this before we even start on it, because honestly, it looked like maybe 3-4 spots of rot, and it's everywhere. Like the tiniest little check, once you tear into it with the blaster, it's rot. So now we got this far. What I'm gonna do is clean up wherever we like had rot all the way underneath this chinking, which is numerous spots. I'm gonna cut it all and chisel it out, and then hit it up one more time with the sandblaster to clean it out. And what I use is the sandblaster to take out all the rot. And I love using the sandblaster because you can see, like, I take all the rot out completely. Rot's like in the logs are like on your teeth, or like cancer. You have to remove every bit of it before you can repair it, because if you don't, look at that, there's some more dead wood. If I didn't remove that chinking, I would have left that much more behind. So these few spots, I'll get this chinking removed and then blast it one more time. And you can chisel it out, kind of like what I'm doing, but the likelihood of leaving a little bit of rot behind is possible. So I love the sandblaster because it literally cleans out every speck of rot. Yeah, this wall honestly kind of took me by surprise. Like, I knew there was some rotten spots, but it's crazy, like, just like this. I don't even think this was even exposed on the surface. I could just tell like a tiny little pit of rot. And then once you start sandblasting it, just like, it's like a little cavern underneath the surface, man. Like, you don't even know it's there. Man, it's just like...
So what happened, Zach?
Oh, man, this wall is endless, and it makes me nervous about the rest of it, because the other side looks worse before I started than this one does right now. And this is, I mean, it's definitely going to be putting the project behind. And man, I mean, it's way more anticipated work than what we anticipated, man. Like, there's a lot on here. There's like a lot of, yeah, man. Like, I mean, that's like, I can put my whole forearm into this hole right here.
Look at that.
And what's crazy is it just looked like a little broken piece. Like, none of the rot starts on the surface. It always starts so deep into the wood and works its way out. So once it looks like a lot on the outside, you know it's a super big problem on the inside, so. And once again, same issue on this end of the house, just, you know, not big enough roof overhang, and water gets in those cracks. But I feel like I'm finally done on this one, so.
You think?
Yeah. If I keep going, I'll probably find something else, but.
I'm sure you will.
I think I got everything. Like, it was pretty much anywhere, I don't know. I mean, like here you could almost anticipate maybe digging in there. I mean.
You might have to.
The thing is, once we're done with this, the whole house, like, we treat it with a borate treatment, and what that does is we put 2 coats of borate, and that helps preserve the wood to try to reduce the amount of like future rot and decay and stuff like that. So there's a few more steps to treat these logs. Man, this log, that whole log got super rot. There's like 3 logs that like the whole thing needs to be replaced. Hey guys, so we're on day, I think like number 4 or something on this project now. We got the garage all stripped down, got the rot removed. And the garage had more rot, but this is on the house the most severe situation of rot, the most work. I have to tear off all of these log corners because they are just completely rotten out. Every single one that you can see, they're all just toasted. And they're beyond repair of trying to salvage these. There's like maybe 2 or 3 of the logs that are solid I can salvage. the build off of, but the rest of them, we're gonna have to cut these off. And I gotta peel out this chinking first, and it's, yeah, look at that. And that's all from, you can see these logs are completely exposed up there. There's no roof protection. So, I mean, from the day it was built, it was destined to fail without having some sort of roof built around this. So that's where later on we're gonna suggest on building a skirt roof for the customer. But first thing first is we gotta chop out a lot of logs here. And I'm gonna get started on it. Show you here. So back in the olden days, you know, hundreds of years ago, it used to be a mixture of like concrete mix, like lime and sand, and they put like horsehair and stuff in it, and that's what they would put in between the gaps of the logs. Nowadays, everything's synthetic. You can see it's kind of stretchy, rubbery. So now they make it out of like synthetic polymers, but there's a gravel in it, and you put a backer rod, like a piece of foam behind it, and it allows expansion contraction, so it seals the logs on all the gaps that way. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is failing, or we just have to remove it to get the rock off of there. So it's similar to caulking, except for caulking is designed for smaller gaps. Chinking is designed for something that's like an inch wide or bigger. Okay, so I finally removed all the chinking. It took forever. I think I spent a few hours on it now, and that was a task. So we got that all removed. The next step is the chainsaw. Chop, chop. All these corners, we're taking it all the way down, every single one of them. So I think, well, actually, I take that back. On this side, I have 2 logs I can salvage, and we're gonna leave these 2 because they're not rotten. Gives us something to build off of, but the rest is junk. So let's turn this house into some firewood.
So what happened?
I only got through a few logs, and it's already dulled out the chain. I mean, between hitting the leftover chinking, and there's nails and bolts and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's, as you've just seen, it wasn't cutting very good. So we're gonna sharpen this up. Normally, like if you're cutting firewood or logs or something, the chain will last, you know, a couple days before it dulls down, but this, it takes a couple minutes. You can see this chain is pretty old. It's been filed down a lot. Here, I'll have you zoom on here real quick.
Yep.
Are you able to see these little notches?
Yep.
Those tell you, 1, the angle, and 2, at that point in time, your chain's like shot if you file down to those notches. So, quick run through this, and look how rounded over, dulled out it is.
Right.
So a couple passes.
Do you have to do this on each individual?
Each and every single tooth.
Oh gosh.
And there we go. That one hasn't, compared to that edge where it's all rounded over and dulled, and that's the edge we need right there. So I gotta go through each one and sharpen them up. Finally got cut through it. I sharpened the chainsaw like 3 times to get through. Just tons of gunk in it that dulls up chains. So it's all chopped off. The next step is to start sandblasting. We're gonna sandblast the rot on the front of this wall through these corners. All this punky stuff we need to get out. So that's the next step, is to get rid of all the fine rot before repair. So we started on getting some of the logs cut up for this repair. These are the two main logs on the house.